Hello and welcome to the MoneyLive Summit 2023 in London. I'm Claire Woofenden at the Fintech Times and I'm joined today by Lee Egerton from Robiquity. Hello Lee, how are you?
Hi, nice to meet you Claire. My name's Lee and I'm the Global Head of Financial Services for Robiquity.
Fantastic. Robiquity is an intelligent automation provider. What does intelligent automation mean? Is it the same as AI or machine learning? How does it work?
Yeah, it's a good question. Our definition of intelligent automation spans a number of different technologies or tools, and typically we put those into three buckets. There are technologies that interpret, there are technologies that make decisions or decide, and then there are automation technologies that act like your traditional RPA. So that's how we see the intelligent automation landscape. And you're right, it does include AI, machine learning, optical character recognition, and your kind of more traditional unattended and attended automation tools.
Fantastic, that's a good explanation. In terms of Robiquity, how is your intelligent automation software helping banks and other financial companies?
So we're not a software vendor, we're agnostic of technology partners. We work with a range of different partners. That makes us quite unique in the market, and it means that we can advise our clients independently on what the best technology is for them. In terms of our position in the market, we're a small PE-backed business. We took PE last year, and we've got some really big growth ambitions now over the next 2 to 3 years, and we're working with some big financial services companies like Lloyds Banking Group and Schroders Personal Wealth.
And what are the common challenges or problems that they're facing or coming to you with?
So historically, the automation marketplace was very much focused on driving cost and efficiency out of banks and insurance companies. This technology is not new, it's been around since about 2007, 2008, and all of the big financial services companies in investment banking and retail banking and insurance have deployed it to some shape or form. What we're starting to see now is a real transition in how those technologies are being used, and now the technologies are being used more to augment the human workforce as opposed to replace it, and that's where I think kind of the real value and benefit is now for financial services businesses.
I think that's quite something I wanted to ask you about really. I guess the concern is with the automation that what happens to humans, how is the kind of blend of human and computers?
Within retail banking and insurance, there's still a huge amount of legacy technology, which makes it very difficult for agents to deal with customers face to face or through contact center channels. And augmented intelligent automation or intelligent automation technologies that augment the human experience can actually make it easier for them to do their job so that they've got more time to focus on those quality conversations.
Let's chat about what everyone's talking about, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
How does this fit into the financial services? Obviously, I've been told that it'll be replacing me because it's far quicker and faster at writing, but is it actually, that's a silly thing to say really, actually it can benefit the financial services?
Yeah, it can definitely benefit the financial services sector. I think the jury's still out on how and where that is the most appropriate. I think listening to some of the talks today at MoneyLive talking about how human interaction is still key within very specific customer journeys, such as mortgage origination. There's a point where somebody wants to speak to a human because of the amount of money that they're kind of borrowing at that point. So I think there's a balance to be found really, but ChatGPT is a good example of an AI tool that can augment what we all do on a day-to-day basis. I'm quite a traditionalist, so I still think there's a point of kind of using your own brain for thinking and making critical decisions. But ultimately, there's lots of really kind of standardized data and standardized activity that goes on in financial services that it can definitely help with.
I think there's also the concerns with automation is risk and bias and other kind of ethical viewpoints, how do you ensure that your intelligent automation solutions follow the correct frameworks?
Yeah, well, I actually think that automation can help deliver against some of those regulations and legislative actions that are being put in place across banks and insurance companies. So consumer duty, for example, how do you ensure that customers are treated fairly? How do you ensure that you're providing them with the right information at the right time to enable them to make a decision with all of the information presented to them? And humans are fallible, right? So, we've worked with automation technology for quite a number of years now. And the great thing about it is that as long as you design it right and you build it right, it never gets it wrong. Whereas humans are fallible. So there's a point here around, can an autonomous or a intelligent automation piece of technology actually deliver a better service to customers because it's got less likelihood of making a mistake. It doesn't come to work with a hangover. It doesn't think or it doesn't have a bad day at the office if you're speaking to a contact center agent. So I think in that respect there are definite kind of benefits to it. There are always going to be individuals and people that think about automation and think about it in terms of the robots going haywire and suddenly placing thousands of trades that are going to expose X organisation to kind of market losses, etc. And the reality is that as I said, automation's been around for many, many years in financial services. The regulators are very happy with it, and so for me, I can't personally see any downside. I think there's only upside. Within the AI space, there may be some more discussion to be had, I think.
Fantastic. So let's thinking ahead for the next year and years ahead. What kind of exciting innovation can come from automation?
Yeah. So the thing that we're kind of probably the most excited about at the moment is conversational AI. And that's kind of quite practical in its application, but quite cool as well in terms of what it can do. And that would be chatting on WhatsApp to a robot, in essence, that felt like you were chatting to another human, but that person was representing your bank or your insurance company. I think that's one of the areas that is kind of the most exciting for us at the moment. There are obviously kind of some considerations in there. But again, back to my point around, fallibility of humans, would a conversational AI tool have the ability to empathize more with a customer who was maybe in a vulnerable situation because it's got, trillions of megabytes of data sat behind it that can inform it how to act in certain situations, whereas, a human interaction might not be able to do that. So conversational AI tools is definitely one of the areas that we're really excited about, as well as kind of a lot of other low-code applications. We work quite a lot with Microsoft Power Platform, and that's increasing in its kind of, I suppose, its accessibility, and also organisations are looking at it because it's got a much lower barrier and cost to entry than some of the traditional big automation technology platforms.
It's certainly a lot of what I've heard from conversations today have been low-code, codeless, and it seems to be the thing going forward. So thank you very much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure chatting to you.
You too, thank you. Thanks.